Hello and welcome to our podcast named Data Inside Arena. It's the place where we explore the intricate world of data mining and custom built platforms, as well as learn from experts about the latest technology and tools available to companies to acquire data in today's world and ensure business success. We're excited to have with us today a special guest from Group BWT, which is a leader in data scraping technology. And his name is Oleg. He brings a wealth of knowledge and insight from how data scraping is shaping industries and driving innovation today. So, Oleg, hello. Can you hear us?
Hello, everyone. Thank you for hosting me today.
Great to have you here. So let's jump right in, Oleg. May I start with a simple question? What are the data platforms? Give us, in general, your view of it and how it's used in today's world.
Sure. So the data platform, to put it simple, is the system that helps aggregate the data from the internet, transform it, and visualize it so that the companies could get useful insights from it to essentially grow their business. The most frequent requests that I have to do to the data platforms are around either price comparison or competitor analysis, where businesses want to understand what their competitors sell, how, when, what are the volumes, prices, and so on and so forth. The general data aggregation platforms, which means that the company needs to have lots of the data that they can work with and get the insights from. The digital shelf data analytics, which is good for the manufacturers who sell online and want to know the performance of their sales on the online market. But to put it super simple, I'll just give a few use cases how this can be.
Sure.
How can this be applied in businesses in different industries? So, one of the clients who we have, they want to make more informed decisions on Google Ads spending. Basically, they run they run paid Google Ads in different locations on different keywords, and if they are the first in the organic search, they need to disable paid ads, and vice versa. If they're not on the first place, they need to enable that. So we've developed the software that scrapes Google search results 24/7 and triggers the client when the ads need to be turned on or turned off, which helps them to cut the costs on the Google ads. Another example is if, let's say, one of the companies, they want to say that they're the best in the industry in the country. To help them support this request, we've been scraping, support this statement, we've been scraping the consumer reviews of their products and the products of their competitors, getting large volumes of those reviews and then performing the analysis on them, starting with simple calculation of the 5-star rating reviews and then ending up with the natural language processing to understand the sentiment of the reviews, what consumers like, what they dislike, what they think should be improved, and so on and so forth. The most common requests that are coming from the companies from e-commerce sector are around price comparison, competitor analysis, as I said before, because the companies want to understand what the competitors sell to then start updating their own product line to stay on top of the competition. So those are just a few examples. We've been doing this for more than 15 years, and we have much more in our pockets. But those are just a few to give a basic understanding of what that is.
Awesome. That's a very good explanation. Thank you for that. So then let me go a little bit deeper. We get a lot of questions, and people often ask, why do I need a custom built solution? Why can't I just use a ready to go tool? There are a million of them. It seems like there are new ones show up every day. And so that's a very common question people ask. Can you elaborate a little bit? Why is it that sometimes it is much better, cost effective, and oftentimes it is the only option for some companies to use a custom built platform rather than try to adjust to something that's already ready to go one for all?
Well, that's a good question, and it really depends on the needs of the organization, the needs of the company. There are lots of ready-made solutions on the internet, lots of very good ready-made solutions that you can start using from day one and start getting data from day one. But oftentimes it happens that the solutions like that are not scalable, and it's impossible to customize them if the client needs some additional functionality, some additional data, or they need to speed up or get large volumes of data. And this is where we step in once the organization realizes that the ready-made tools do not meet their expectations. And I hope you agree that with the cases that I mentioned a few minutes ago, those companies, they would not be able to find ready-made tools that would help them to aggregate millions of reviews from the entire internet, because there is just not a solution like that.
So, but just to elaborate a little bit, is it primarily, so to say, for the big boys, or not necessarily? It could be for a medium-sized business as well, a solution like this?
It is, data is a new gold. Everybody needs the data, so it's not related to the size of the company. As I said, that's totally depends on the needs of the organization, whether you're big or small or enterprise level clients. We've been helping companies in all the segments when they that's also the good point here, that even if we're talking about enterprise level companies who have their own technical department in-house, very often they try to use their in-house technical team for building web scraping software to get the data so that their analytics can work with it. But even in this case, they come up to the situation when there's not enough expertise to scrape data from specific sources. Either they are well protected, or they use advanced software for bots detection and things of that nature. And the companies then think what they should do next. Should they invest more into the education of the in-house team, or should they start hiring people in-house? And the cycle of new hire is usually super long, and there is the learning curve still. Or they refer to the companies like ours to cover those problematic situations as soon as possible.
I see. So basically, you guys have a few interaction models with your clients, I'm assuming. So it's not necessarily that they would hire just your company. It's they could contract you out just some part of the work when it comes to data scraping or building those platforms, correct?
We position, we like to position ourselves as the data scraping integrators into the existing systems of and software of our clients.
Okay, awesome. Then if that's the case, let's go and try to tell our listeners a little bit more on the type of a client, specifically the type of an industry, the type of an executive that might be in a position where you will find something like this useful, or even any employee of any company where data could be used to make the company better or achieve success himself in his position. So there are many cases of when it could be used. Who can use your services?
Good question. Well, basically any industry, any company in an industry will benefit from using services like that. We work with the clients in e-commerce, in legal industry, in healthcare, in learning industry, and basically you name it. So there is no limit on that. Speaking of the most frequent requests, of course, I would say e-commerce is the top industry. The companies from e-commerce are the top users of the services that consumers of the services that we offer. Another big part comes from consultancy industry, basically management consulting firms who need to get insights from the data from the internet to help their clients to succeed. But as I said, we work with tens of different companies from tens of different industries, and everybody needs data nowadays.
And so this doesn't even have to be on the level of a company, right? This could be an employee at a particular department where that department needs to, let's say, they have the need to find some data, and
Right.
they can just use that service as well, right?
Right. Usually, this is either the customer success manager who wants to understand the consumers and customers better. This is the inside managers from different companies who are responsible for finding some new strategy for growing the business. This can be marketing managers as well. And the technical roles. We work with CDOs of multiple companies who, mostly in this case in this example that I described a few minutes ago, when they need to analyze data and they understand that the core of their department is the data analysis, not the data collection and aggregation. So they are looking for help to aggregate the data so that their own team could focus on what's important, to focus on the core of their activities.
Got it. Let me ask you another question that's I know it's a tricky question, but from your experience, I'm sure you guys have come across situations where you're taking over a company's own effort when they tried to do something on their own and they couldn't do it, whether it was too expensive or they just didn't have the power, and then you guys come in and do your job. And has there ever been a situation where a company would be better off without your services, or it's always a win-win case?
I would say it is always a win-win case, because usually when we start working with the company, we continue working with them for quite a long time. We have situations when a client was coming to us looking for the backup solution to their existing data scraping sources or existing data scraping providers. Our clients never look for the backup solution to our solutions. So I think this answers the question that yes, definitely they benefit more from working with us than without.
Sounds good. Well, we're running out of time, and I think we've covered as much as we could today. Thank you, Oleg. Thank you very much for joining us. Thank you for your time. And everyone else, thank you very much for joining Data Insight Arena. If you're passionate about data and its impact on our future, make sure you subscribe to this podcast, and we'll see you next time. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.